When I was burnt, I was unrecognizable. Basically, like I had like deep secondary burns on my face, but he still knew me. Uh, he didn't treat me differently.
Hello again, animal lovers. Welcome back to a new season of Rescued by a Dog, the podcast about dogs that have actually saved their owners' lives. As always, I'm Laura, and this season of the podcast is entirely listener supported. There are two easy ways to support this podcast for as little as $5. First, you could just Venmo me $5 or whatever amount you want to send at the handle LauraBama. That's Laura, B as in boy, A, M as in mother, A. Or you can go to patreon.com/Rescued by a Dog podcast. Again, that's Patreon, patreon.com/Rescued by a Dog podcast. When you join the Rescued by a Dog community on Patreon, your $5 a month will help me to continue sharing these moving stories. Okay, so today you're going to hear from a young man named Joe who received a face transplant following a tragic car accident. This young man is incredible, so enjoy the story. Hi, Joe. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can. Thank you so much for talking to me.
No problem.
Are you feeling okay today?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Just a rough beginning of the summer, I guess. It never ends.
It never ends. I know. I'm really impressed with I love your Instagram posts and your message. You have this message of positivity and survival and overcoming, and I'm sure it's really shitty a lot of the time, but it's been inspiring for me, so thank you. Um, I'm so excited to talk to you, Joe. Can you start off by telling me what is your dog's name and what do they look like?
So my personal dog is Buster. He's a Boston Terrier. He's brown and white. And then my other dog, which is also my girlfriend's dog, but now mine because he likes me more. He's also a Boston Terrier. He's black and white, and he's Kirkland.
Where did you find Buster and what was going on in your life when you found him?
I think I was 19 years old. So, like, typical 19-year-old. I guess I was getting kind of lonely. So, like, I got him. And then, he was just there for me 6 months before my accident, too. So, like, he only knew me for like a short period of time with my original face at 19 years old. And he was, brought home to my parents. And, he was instantly loved, spoiled for my parents. And like my dad, he's like older, but like that was the first time I've ever seen him get down on the ground, like on his belly to play with a dog. And I was like, oh wow, that's a that's a special dog right there. Back in 2018, I did a night shift job. It was overtime. They called me when I was golfing with my dad midday. And I was like, why not? Want extra money for my car. I wanted to put modifications on it, typical guy stuff. And it was like a pretty busy highway in Jersey. It's one of the deadliest highways in Jersey. They call it the dead man's turn. And I just fell asleep at the wheel. And my car built the side of the road, hit a curb, and my car caught on fire. And I became 80% burnt from it. So I was crawling halfway out, and some other guy pulled me out the rest of the way. I was in a coma for 3.5 months. Like when you're in the coma, like they have to fix you and stuff like that. So there was like a lot of bad dreams, like torture dreams, because that hurts. But like the one that is very vivid is I had dreams about my original Boston Terrier. I thought, I thought at that point I was dead because he passed away when I was a sophomore in high school. So I just thought, okay, I guess this is it. This is just me walking up the hill, my childhood hill.
Do you have any memory of being pulled out of the car?
No memory, just waking up from the coma and asking my mom how my rims on the car was my first thing I said to her waking up.
You asked her about the car's rims?
Yeah. And I was asking my mom, how's Buster doing? Is he okay? She was showing pictures of him, like on a daily basis, because she would visit me all the time because they're retired. So she was always constantly there every day. And I told her, stay home, take care of Buster. I'm more worried about Buster than, you coming here to see me. When I was burnt, I was unrecognizable. Basically, like I had like deep second-degree burns on my face, and then my eyelids were sutured shut because my eyes were burnt, so I wasn't able to blink completely. So they had to protect my eyes. So I went blind in the long run. Didn't have my long hair either. I had short hair because they cut it off. So that's everyone knows me for my long hair and stuck back. But last year, he just knew it was me. I guess from my voice or just my scent, which I would assume my scent was gone because I got burnt. So I had a different scent. But he still knew me. Uh, he didn't treat me differently at all. He also saw me in the rehab unit. So he got to visit me in there. Buster instantly knew me. It was a pretty happy moment. It's tile floors there, so like he was like slipping on them, trying to get to me. I'm not, not having a leash. She didn't want to let him go, and he'll jump on me because I was in a wheelchair, so I couldn't like walk alone yet. I couldn't even stand at that point, but uh, so she had to gently like bring him to me, let him sniff me first, to like calm down. And it was just like a really happy moment. I really couldn't pet him that much because my hands were wrapped up in Coban for the swelling. Uh, but I did get some pets in. I had to pet him, and he just laid there next to me when he was there, just trying to comfort me. It was just like a joyful moment, really happy. I'm not much of a crier. I haven't cried since sophomore year in high school. My dog died. That's the last time I cried. So like, not an emotional guy, but pretty happy and joyful. He got a little too excited, and he was possibly scratched my burns, and that wasn't good. So, but I didn't really care. He can't control it. Dogs can't control their happiness. They just want their owners. So when I came back to my parents' house, I had like all like compression leggings on and stuff like that. He was like constant. I was basically like there at my parents' couch 24/7, and he was always like next to me, always like comforting me, always on my legs. At night, he laid me at night, but then he's used to sleep with my parents, so I just left the door open, and he would go back and forth to check on both of us.
Do you think he must have known that you were struggling?
I think he definitely knew something was going on. I would wake up, he would be there for my legs, sleeping with me. He would basically a shadow, always like follow me around. He knew like not to get in between my legs though, which is pretty interesting because everyone else he goes in between the legs and always checking people. I think that's just what all dogs do. But he knew not to deal with me for some reason. Always watching me too, which is I think that's just a Boston Terrier thing. Always have his eyes on you. I'd basically just lay on my parents' couch, and he would just lay in between my legs or next to my legs for the whole day. And like my motivation was like, I gotta let him out because someone has to let him out. I have to do it. So I just always constantly let him out, go to the bathroom. Sometimes I would stay out there with him depending on the weather. But that was like my way of not getting like too lazy. It's just okay if I can't motivate myself, I might as well help Buster out, let him out because he can't do it. The burns do get tight, and my mom did her best to put lotion on me and tubey grip, which that's why tubey grip is a tight compression garment to put on. Uh, so she put that on me with lotion, with oil, like oil based lotion, which is 10 times harder. And it does dry out throughout the day, and it does crack, so it does hurt. It's stuck on me, all that stuff. But yeah, pretty painful to let him out, but I had to do it. He would do the same for me. I had a lot of friends on Snapchat, so-called friends, like over 100, and looking for the coma. A lot of them were gone because I guess why have someone that's not talking back to me, so they deleted me. And then I did reach out to people, telling them what happened. They said they're sorry, but then they would delete me the next day. So like That was a really gut punch, but I at that time I didn't understand, but now I do understand. Like my old face, what isn't meant for everyone to see. It was pretty hard to see. So at the time it was like a gut punch, and now it's like okay, I understand. Like they probably delete me because they didn't want to see that, or they just didn't want to feel like too pittiness. I guess I don't know, or
Yeah.
they just liked me for the things I had because I did live alone and I had like a nice car. So all those reasons are going through my head, but the Buster was just there. Didn't matter what I had. I have my close friends now that I hang out with, and they treat me differently. But when all that was happening, it's like Buster's here. My friends aren't here constantly, but they text me here and there. Buster's here, like going for 7 at that time, and I was like, all right, well, this is my only friend now, and yeah, it helped me a lot. It's like it's weird to say, like it's like he was like a human, and like if I would have fell over, I feel like he would have caught me, which is it's so dumb to say out loud, but that's what it looks like he would do. He whenever like I got up, he had like a worried look, like his eyes would like always be bulging out with his ears back, and like sometimes his ears would be perked up if I like grunted or made like a noise or talking to myself like how it hurts, and he would just like tilt his head like he understood. If I thought about it, I probably would have given up. But when you're put in that situation, like, well, I don't want to give up. I would still want to do things because I just turned 20 when I got into the accident. So my life was basically just started, as a young adult living on my own at the time. It's like, I don't want to give up now. In one interview I did, they asked me, how do I stay motivated? I was like, well, I watch my dog Buster. He gets excited to pee on the same bush in the backyard every day. So it's like, how is he so excited to do that? And I'm not excited to wait, get up in the morning, go, brush my teeth, eat breakfast. But he's excited to go to see the same bush every day.
Tell me about your life now. Where have you gotten to?
We met girlfriend 3 years ago, back in June. So June was our anniversary. So 3 years it's been. And I DM'd her on Instagram because of her dog, Kirkland. Because you have to be pretty unique to have a Boston Terrier. Yes, I DM'd her saying I like your dog, and then it just went on from there. Me and my girlfriend just bought a house almost a year ago in November. After the transplant, I was able to play pool again, which is one of my hobbies I could do. And he loves to play with like balls. His favorite toy is a rubber ball. And so whenever I play pool, he would always like put his paws on the pool table. There's a picture on Instagram about it. His head would like follow the ball, and when it went to the pocket, he would think it fell on the ground, but then he would follow the noise of the ball rolling, and his head would go back and forth, and he'll wind up going to the balls go. He likes to lean. He's a leaner.
Yeah.
If I'm sitting on the couch, he'll lean on my side with all his weight until I move and lay down, then he'll lay with me.
If Buster could speak English, what would you like to say to him?
I think he does understand English to me because I always say thank you to him, and I talk to him, So like I'm there alone, so my friends are working, so I can't call them, so I just talk to him, and I think he understood. He tilted his head, like he knew I was talking about, but I always said thank you to him.
If Buster could speak English, what do you think he would want to say to you?
I don't know, probably thank you for letting him out all the time. I taught him how to fist bump because I couldn't do high fives or shake. So he learned how to give me fist bumps instead of the actual like paw. I think he would thank me for that. I always like to put Buster on a pedestal and a lot of people don't understand that. Like, why do you do that? It's like, well, you weren't there when no one else was there. He was.